everybody. Welcome back to Sure is Good. We're going to do a Q&A today. So these are just some questions that we would like to answer so you can get more of a feel of Sure is Good, why we started it, who we are. And feel free to leave us any questions that you would like to know, just in case we didn't answer any questions in this Q&A that you would like to know. So leave us comments and whatever you want, and we'll get to your questions in the next Q&A that we do. So the first question is, what inspired us to start Sure is Good, the YouTube channel? So do you want to answer that first?
Yeah, I can answer that. So I was actually inspired by I have a brother-in-law that was having some problems. So, was having issues with women not knowing it. And he's not the only man I know. Like men getting into relationships and starting relationships, and women just can't cook. He was he was kind of put off. You want people, to have happy relationships and want things to work out. But when women can't cook, I think that's still like a expectation of men, for women to still have a certain degree of cleaning, domestic training. And when they find like women, of today don't want to cook, don't want to clean, can't cook, that really bothered them. So I said, you know what? It's not a woman's fault if she was never taught to cook. That should have been something that's, that used to be basic and fundamental trainings, but that's where we're at today. So I said, you know what, I can either, be negative, or I could help, you know, teach people how to cook, make good meals, and you know.
Yeah. And I have a completely different reason why I joined. When she brought the idea up to me that we should start this channel. And I thought it was a great idea because prior to us starting this channel, we had already been talking about like open up a restaurant or something because she's a really good cook and her people love her food. And then I have a completely different diet. I have a vegan diet. And people ask me about my vegan diet a lot. So I was like, you know what? Let me. I actually have my own YouTube channel that I shared a recipe on. But when she said let's start this channel, it was right up my alley because I didn't know if I wanted to put cooking any like cooking recipes on my channel, like videos like that on my channel. So doing this with her allowed me to learn how to get consistent with making videos because I upload every Saturday. So it allowed me to get consistent and it allowed me to go through with an idea that I originally had without committing to it on my channel because I didn't know which direction I wanted to go on my channel. And it also allowed me to live out that kind of dream that we have. Like it's not a restaurant, so we didn't have to be in charge of a restaurant and have staff and all that kind of thing, you know. So it was a good way to share our meals with people without having a whole, restaurant, a whole
A
business like
huge
that. Yeah.
commitment.
That
Yeah.
kind of commitment. This was a much easier commitment and it helped me get consistent 'cause I wanted to get consistent with making videos and it really helped me get consistent. So to me, making sure it's good was the perfect idea because I was going to have help. I wasn't just going to be doing it on my own. She was going to be doing it too. So that put me at ease about being very consistent because I was nervous about this idea. So, because I didn't think I was going to be able to like upload every week, but I've been keeping up with it, and it's actually really fun and therapeutic for me, and it's been a good way to share something of my own lifestyle that people ask about. So a lot of questions that people ask me, I could just point them to the YouTube channel. That makes my life easier. So the next question is, why did we choose the name Sure is Good? She chose the name.
Yeah. Coming up with a name in general
Yeah.
is hard.
Yeah.
You have to like kind of bounce ideas off of each other, and sure is good. We actually picked a different name
Yeah.
originally, But then we found out that somebody else had that name, so
Yeah.
we couldn't go with
And
that.
we wanted something very original that nobody else has so they can find this specific channel.
And also something that, really like represented our cooking.
Yeah.
We wanted people to know, something that attracted people, because people, if you have a name like, I mean, just crazy name that doesn't really associate with your cooking, people are not going to think about, coming to you. So we wanted something that represented what we did, and it was
Yeah.
going to just bring people in, like, no, yeah, this is
Yeah.
where the good food is,
Yeah. So, and when we came up with that name, I like that name, Sure is Good, because I feel like it wasn't a name that was like so specific. Hello, the person that said hi. Um, it wasn't so specific to any type of cooking or any type of
Yeah.
food or any type of diet. Sure is good means like it's good. You know,
Right.
come here to
Whatever
where
we
the good
make,
stuff is.
whatever we
So
make, it's good.
yeah, so I like that because it's more generalized and more broad for us to kind of be creative and do whatever comes to us. Hello to the other person saying hi. How are you? So that's why we both agreed to the name Sure is Good, because we came up with a bunch of different names, and every time we came up with a name, somebody else had that name until we found came up to
Yeah.
this one, and this one was not taken by anyone. So the next question is, what message do you hope to share with our audience with this channel? All right, want me to go first?
You can go first.
All right. So I think we have similar messages. I feel like we have a separate message, or also we have the same message, but we have different methods in which we share our message. So me, I would say the basis of the message that we would agree on, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was to share, like I said, the meals that we have for the point of sharing our talent. Like she cooks very well. I have a different diet, and we both felt like what we have to share in terms of cooking and making meals, it was very significant. So we wanted to share what we thought was very significant and share because we have been asked already. Like, people have asked us about our diets, about how our food is and stuff like that. And the people who have tried our meals have always liked what we've made. So that's the reason why. And I'll speak um for my own personal reason is because, like I said, people do ask me, and because I'm vegan and I've been vegan for 6 years, I feel like it was just time to like put out recipes that I feel like people like because I like them and they're really healthy. And I also was very inspired by helping people take on a healthier diet that can help them like really balance their body, detox their body, try something new. So that's what I would wanted. That was my inspiration. She can tell you what her inspiration is. I look at some of these comments.
So the message that I wanted to put out, was how, just to teach people how to cook good. And there's so many, everybody has different situations, right? We have, different budgets, we have different palates, we have um, a lot of different cooking styles. So just, I mean, I appreciate, and sometimes I do look at how other people make different foods. And, sometimes I try other things that other people make, you know, um, but, I like to have a variety of things to cook. And, I think, people that have can cook, just have, and have like, can get a variety of things, can cook, to cook, just, can just have a better eating experience. I feel like eating is a very of our lives. And when you have good meals, it's really important. And when you can, feed people good, like that's something people really like. People like to eat good food. People like to eat good food, but that doesn't make you a good cook. So somebody has to teach you somewhere. So that's what we took upon ourselves. And I feel like what we're doing is really great because we cooked, like, we both started off. I'm her mother, so I started off feeding her. We ate all kind of, not all kinds of food, because I was very particular about what I cooked. And it had to, number one, be nutritious. That was off the top. It had to be nutritious, right? I had I'm very funny about the how long I eat food. Like I'm not gonna do leftovers for the whole week. If my food is not within 24 hours old, it's going in the garbage. I don't even care how much food it is. I'm throwing it away. 24 hours, it's dead. It's going by. I'm not eating all of this decayed and bacteria filled. I'm not doing that. Um, so I wanted people to learn how to cook good, good, healthier meals. I've been big on vitamins and nutrition for many, many years and trying to pass that on to my kids. And then, for Robbie to take it a step further and even go vegan, she's even tried to push me to, come along and eat healthier than what I was eating. And through the years, I have, but at the same time, coming from
Thank you,
eating
Ruby, too.
pork, eating beef, eating, chicken and turkey and all those other things. Um, and I'm not saying that they're not, they're like terrible, they're gonna kill you. But coming out of that, we've experienced like we've had like different experiences. Like I don't eat meat anymore. It's a different experience than eating meat. And Robbie doesn't. She eats vegan, and that's just like a step beyond where I'm at. And it gives us, a multitude, a variety, a better variety of ways to have food, eat food, and prepare food. Because the more you come away from meat, for me personally, coming away from meat, I had to do it in a way. I knew I had to do it in a way that I was going to be successful. Because something to not have it anymore is, and around people that are constantly eating that, it's very tough. But when you find ways to use other things and you can cook and you learn how to use spices, you learn how to season things, then it becomes a lot easier because I can buy like some type of meat substitute, some type of plant-based something and season it so that it tastes, while my husband's eating chicken, I have my plant-based or soy-based and I can season it so that I feel like I'm
Thank
eating
you.
the same thing he's eating. And, I can enjoy things equally. And Robbie also,
Someone in the comments says, we're so sweet. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
So also another thing I want to address that I saw in the comments, someone says that I'm sick because I'm vegan for 6 years. No, I actually went to the doctor not too long ago and got everything checked. Because I like to stay up on top of my vitals, my blood work, everything. So I got my blood work done. I got so much done at the doctor. Got checked for everything. So I definitely stay on top of that. And no, everything came back perfect. So it's all about balance. So you said that people have went vegan went sick. Well, to be honest, and this, whether you believe this or not, I am a very spiritual person, and I had a calling to go vegan. I didn't go vegan right away when I got in the calling. It took me 4 years. And the reason why it took me 4 years because I had to transition from eating meat and dairy to just a plant-based diet, and I didn't want to mess up, so I researched and practiced for 4 years straight before I even became vegan. And so that's why I'm successful as a vegan now of 6 years with perfect because I did the research. So I always advise anyone do the deep research. And to be honest, 6 years later, my research doesn't stop. I take vitamins. Oh, and that's another thing. If you go on my this channel right here, go to the other lives that we have. There's another reason why my vitals are perfect because I take vitamins and I make them myself sometimes. I'll buy them from stores. The vitamins that I make or will buy is sea moss, bladderwrack, burdock root, and I'll also buy spirulina. I'll take spirulina. Um, there's another one that I take as well. Besides for moringa. So, and I don't take them all together because there's no point. They all have the same nutrients. And so, because I take those vitamins, I stay 100% loaded on every nutrient, trace mineral, everything I need. I highly recommend if you're changing your diet, I don't even care what you're changing to. I don't care if you're a meat eater, you eat dairy. I feel like vitamins are important, but especially vitamin D. That's another reason why people, I don't think people know that. If you don't get enough vitamin D in your system, it's not any other nutrient that you take in, whether you take it in through food or other vitamins. If your body does not have enough vitamin D, it's not going to, your body's not going to be able to absorb the other nutrients properly. Vitamin D is very essential for the absorption of nutrients in your bones, your organs, and all of your cells. So keep that in mind. See, and the reason why I know this is because of the years of research that I've done and that I continue to do. So,
And like she said, like going to the doctors when you a diet, you do need to eat. I'm not huge on doctors, and I'm really against prescription drugs and all that. I'm not with that stuff at all. But they can at least tell you, if nothing else, they can tell you what you're deficient in.
yeah.
What if you're deficient in whatever vitamin or mineral, if you are if your sugar's up, if your salt is up, all of that stuff, they can tell you all of that. And then you just really just, you have to take that into your cooking. You have to take that into your cooking. So if my salt is high, if I'm struggling with salt, then I have to, like I showed in one of the videos, how I substituted my ingredients, and I bought, things that have mixed ingredients, but they don't contain salt, right? If I have, high in sugar, then I'm gonna move away from those, white sugars, and I use honey. I even tried like stevia, but that stuff is, the taste is different, and good for you. It's really no good for you. So I stay away from stevia. I stick to honey. I found uh, during the course of my transitioning and becoming like coming away from like sugar, I found like they have coconut based sugar. They have pure sugars. They have a lot of different variations of clean sugars, right? And also using fruit and as spices, right? People like, people say, "Oh my gosh, you got pineapple on pizza," but other countries and other islands, they're good for seasoning their foods with fruits because that gives you sugar that, a good sugar gives you the sweetnesses that you want to taste in your foods. It helps bring your foods out. So, um, I'm not big on cooking with fruit in my food, but I do like to use them in drinks.
Okay,
I
so
like fruity drinks.
there was another question in the comments. So thank you guys who are asking questions. Keep them coming. We love to answer your questions. And if we don't answer all of them in this live, then we'll definitely answer them in another live. So keep the questions coming. We love this.
Yeah,
Another
we'll be
question.
doing this. I'm sorry. We'll be doing that. It's the both of us or just one of us, or we'll be doing these lives on at 5:30. They start at 5:30 on Wednesdays. So come on over. Make sure you join us, and we'll be like Bobby said, we'll be answering your questions, and we'll be talking about a lot of different things, including the store we have, Alive and Thrive, and we're going to be putting things on Alive and Thrive. That store is for to complement our cooking channel. Sure is good. So Alive and Thrive that store that is going to have different things that have to do with cooking, like pots and pans and dish, different things, spices, and we're trying to load it with all of those, good things that we think are really good, or that you can use, utensils and appliances that you can use to help make some of these dishes or help just improve your cooking, because appliances are make a big difference. They help out so much.
You gotta save that for after, like when we get to the door. So.
Okay.
So the question that I was gonna answer, the person said, how do I get my B vitamins? Berries, mixed berries, strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, and raspberries. If you eat a sufficient amount of berries, which doesn't take a whole lot, you just gotta, get it in there. Especially if you love berries, that'll be easy for you. But like I said, the vitamins I make with the sea moss, the burdock root, I get those additional nutrients so that I'm always complete my nutrients, even if I don't eat berries every day, because I don't. I don't eat berries every day, so it's covered by the sea moss and the bladderwrack that I take, and the moringa, the spirulina, but also the mixed berries together that creates all the B vitamins, especially B12. B12 is very essential also for you to keep your health right and the absorption of your nutrients. So vitamin B12 and vitamin D are extremely important. So yes, that's how I get those vitamins.
And if you're like me, you don't want to take a whole bunch of pills, get the gummies. They're delicious. Just don't OD on gummies. All right, only two at a time. You can take different ones, but get the gummies. They're always good.
So another question is what motivated us to change our diets? We already spoke briefly about it, but I'm gonna add on. Like I said, I had a calling to go vegan, and for me, the key. Like if you feel like you are inspired to do something, you feel your intuition is telling you to do something, learn about it first before you just dive on in. That's the biggest thing that I would like to put out is that learn first and go slow. Because exactly what I did. I weaned myself off, not because I would have missed the foods, but because I wanted to see the changes in how I felt as I was transitioning. So a carnivore diet, or I'll say a meat eating diet where I was eating pretty much everything, to vegetarian. For a whole year, I went vegetarian, and then I went vegan. But in the beginning, I played around with pescatarian a little bit. For like a few months, I was pescatarian, and then I didn't see the point of being pescatarian because I'm still eating animals, so I just went back to eating meat, and then I officially went vegetarian and then vegan. So yeah, I just felt a calling to go vegan, and I haven't looked back. I fell in love with the diet, and so that's my story though. What about you?
For me, it was completely different. I just got to a point that I had a hard time it seemed like as I was getting older, it was just having more and more of a hard time digesting food and you know, and I just woke up one morning and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Not having this stuff all stuck on my stomach, and I just didn't want to live that life anymore. But again, I knew that it was going to be, and I'm not vegan. She says pescatarian because I do eat fish. I eat seafood. Um, and I eat eggs, things she doesn't eat. But I don't eat anything other than seafood. Yeah, I don't eat anything other than seafood. I use plant-based meats. I eat soy protein, things with soy protein, mushrooms. I make supplements with mushrooms and stuff like that. But um, I decided, like I said, I woke up one morning and I was like, that's it. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. And then, the funny thing is, so I stopped eating. I stopped eating and I just ate seafood. And I just felt, I stopped getting that's, food just stuck in my system, and I just felt cleaner and I felt better. And I feel like for a good while, I really just didn't feel like I wanted meat at all. I was so over it. I just didn't want meat at all. But then, over time, it started, it was getting tempted, especially like Thanksgiving. It was like, this meat is looking good. So I actually said, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just eat like the skin off of some turkey, right? So that's, how much more harm is that going to do? So I took the skin off the turkey and I a little piece and I ate it. I put, it tastes good, but then when I swallowed it, I started gagging. I was just like, and I really couldn't believe like how negatively my body reacted, from just not having it for about 6 months, and from there I was like, oh my God, like never again. But yeah, being a good cook and seasoning food up and cooking it for other people definitely, makes me feel like, wow, this is really good. I want some of this. But at the same time, I know I'm going to be gagging and throwing the stuff up. That's not even, that really keeps me from it. And I just go off and get my little soy chicken, and I just season my soy chicken up. Like, just had the other night, I had a chicken cutlet parmesan out of soy chicken, seasoned it up, put the cheese on it, the sauce on it, and I'm eating chicken cutlet parmesan with everybody else, and that's just what I do. And I wanted to be able to show people how to do these things so that you can be successful like I was successful when you decide you want to, get healthy or move on to better things.
All right, so I have a good question right here. It says, "Oh, were there foods you found difficult to give up?" So I'll start with this one. For me, cheese was my thing. I love cheese. That was my thing. I really thought that cheese and pizza was gonna be really hard for me to give up. I was like, I'm gonna miss cheese. I don't know if I'm gonna like be able to like say goodbye to cheese forever. I did not miss it at all, and I was actually very surprised about that because I really thought that cheese is that just like many other foods that cheese is like very addictive. So I thought that was I was gonna crave it. I was like, I'm gonna have to fight these cheese cravings. Didn't have any, absolutely none. And I feel like the reason why I didn't have any cravings for cheese or anything, no like other snacks, because one, I fell in love with the vegan diet when I started, and that love and the like, it was what made me fall in love with it is that it was so different. And me, I love everything new and different, stuff like that. So it was different. I loved everything I was eating. I was eating huge bowls of fruit. So I love that. So I was very full and satiated. And when you're eating in a way that makes you full and feeling satiated, you don't crave anything else because the way I was eating, I was getting all the nutrients I needed. So my body wasn't craving anything else because it was fully nourished. I was hydrated. I was drinking a lot of water too, on top of eating all that fruit. And I was eating a lot of like big bowls of salad, like or vegetables. And so because of that, I just didn't crave anything. But I thought I was gonna crave cheese, and I didn't. I craved nothing. I fell in love with the diet because of that. So then,
When I tell you, like, she is not sitting here lying, and when I tell you she says she eats big, oh my God, the food this woman consumes, wow. Okay, I would be an elephant trying to eat as much as she just like. Here's my portion, and she's got something
yeah,
like this, and I'm
yeah,
like, oh my God. She eats and she mixes her foods well, and yeah, and like, you should see her eat a pizza. She order her pizza,
yeah.
give me extra sauce, and she puts all these toppings on it, and there's no cheese on it, and I'm like,
Yeah. By the way, the
okay,
pizza that I get
it's good
has
though.
no cheese on it.
No
So
cheese.
I'll get like a personal pizza. So
Mm-hmm.
the personal pizza is like 8 slices, like is it like 8 slices, something like that? It's like
6 to 8
this.
slices. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this big, so I'm like around that big, and I eat the whole thing in one go. And it has, I usually the toppings I get no cheese at all. So people sometimes I walk into places they think kind of weird because I'm not getting cheese. I don't care. So I'll get just the sauce. I'll get mushrooms, sometimes spinach, always black olives, and sometimes I'll get like tomatoes or onions. Yeah, those are toppings I get, and I'll just eat the whole thing in one
Mm-hmm.
go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that'll just be lunch or dinner, either or.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's so many, now there's so many places that are vegan, that cook, vegan. And Robbie loves to find these places, and she's
Yeah.
always like, hey, we're gonna go out to eat. And
That's
then we all
awesome.
eating vegan. Nobody's vegan but her. But it's like, okay, but the thing is, like, there's always something, we try on the menu, and it turns out to be pretty good. It really turns out to be pretty good. Not that I'm going to become vegan anytime soon, but I've actually thought about it. But there are things that I just don't want to give up. I'm not giving up the cheese. not new. I'm not giving up the cheese, and I need, I still crave meat. So I still like to have like vegan to me is pretty hard. It's pretty hard. Like I can't even like she doesn't. She's I use seasonings that give me the meat flavor, and those things a lot of times have like
So you're
a
getting
meat
in.
base.
Sorry, you're getting into the next question I was gonna ask. So before she finished her response just now, I'm gonna tell you this next question because she's already answering it. How do friends or family and others react to your lifestyle change? So you continue what you're saying.
Okay, so so my I'm okay with like using a gravy from a meat to season my food. Robbie's not gonna do that. Absolutely not gonna do that. Like don't no eggs, no this, no that. So um, but and for both of us, even since I don't eat meat, for both of us it was hard. Um, dealing with people like around us.
Yeah.
I no, I can say that for you too because people kept asking like you want this, you want that, and it's like, do I have 46 times? I don't eat that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It gets to really gets to a point you feel like it's just disrespectful. You're just disrespectful. Like why do you keep offering me things that I told you I don't eat? Like
Yeah.
I don't eat that.
Yeah, I have felt that way.
Like even going to like a restaurant, like it could be hard to put in an order because people don't comprehend like take this out because I don't eat that. They're like, oh, but no,
Yeah.
yeah, I want it, but take the meat out. Oh, but
Yeah.
and if they put the meat in, for me, I can just like scoot it off my plate. If they accidentally put it on for Robbie, that ruins the plate for her. That's because like don't put it on her plate. I could scoot it off, but Robbie's like, don't put these things on her plate. So that like we have in common when you do things out of the ordinary.
Yeah, people
Going
get stuck.
Yeah,
They
it takes people like a really really long time to get it through their head that don't offer me that. I don't want it. And then people just a lot of times people don't even want to accept that. A lot of times people just don't want to say that. Oh, like, well, you need a burger, you need this, don't tell me what I need. I know what I need, and it's not a burger. You know,
Yeah, I've done that too.
Yeah.
And my response is, I'm gonna make a lentil burger. I'll get
I
a
got
burger.
my
It's gonna be made
burger.
with lentils, not me.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but or chickpeas. I'll make a burger out of plants.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but for me, yeah, I got the same things, and I did feel disrespected by even like my closest friends asking me. I'm like, didn't I just tell you
46 times.
more than once? I don't eat that. Stop offering me. Get through your head. But they were so used to me being a certain way because they know me for so many years that it's hard to for them to make the switch in their head because they're not living like that, and of course they still see me the way they're used to seeing me, and so for them to make that switch, I made the switch in my mind, body, spirit, but they did not make the switch. So for them to become accustomed to it took time for them. But at the same time, I have friends who are like, I want you to be like them, eating like them. And my response is, I don't care. You do you, I'm doing me. Like you can't care, especially since I feel like I had a calling from God the Most High to do this. I'm not gonna go against my obedience to please you. So when people try to give you like come up with resistance against what you're doing with your life, you just no.
Yeah,
Mind your business or learn from me. Or you either learn about what I'm doing or just mind your business. Some people that come to me, they're interested in my lifestyle change because they want to know more. And maybe they want to do it too because they've thought about it. They've maybe had like felt like a little calling to it too. And that's one of the reasons why I'm glad we started Sure is Good. So I can help those people who feel like they also have a calling to make a diet change. But some people just want you to be like them and because that's more comfortable for them. Yeah. But God didn't put me on earth to make you comfortable. So there's like you have to be very strong in your mindset of who you are and what you're doing and why you're doing it. So yeah, we both had some resistance in terms of our diet, but you just can't care. You do what you got to do. And I'm the healthiest I've ever been in my entire life, like since I was a little girl. So I'm very happy about that, and I don't have a reason to go back to the way I was eating before because this diet is better for me. My stomach feels better. Um, because I was always constipated. I know it's TMI, but I was always constipated. So I don't have that anymore. Now I'm regular, and I have no problem saying that because we're human. And my skin cleared up. I had really bad acne all like for years. And people tell me, "Oh, it's gonna go away when you're 25." I'm in my 30s now, and my skin is the best that it's been. Like ever since I went vegan, my skin has been in its best condition. And I used to have really bad skin, like pimples all the time, and I get hyperpigmentation. I really don't have any of that too much anymore. I might get a pimple here and there every once in a while, but I know. And the best thing is, if I do, I know exactly what I ate that caused it. And if I don't eat that thing, then it just clears up like really fast. That was never the case before. My skin used to break out, and I had that breakout for a little while. So it's been kind of a miracle for me to transition into a vegan diet because my body has changed in a very healthy way. I feel better. I got more energy. I'm 34. People tell me I look like I'm 18. I don't know why they say 18, but they everybody says 18 for some reason. So I'm good. I'm happy.
Yeah, I think another thing is, excuse me, over time your body changes. Like we all know, your body changes, and your body's just gonna call for more of certain things and less of other things. And when you respect your body, you listen to what is, you have to try to figure out like what is this thing saying to me, and it really helps you um, with movement and everything you do, like you know changes like your course on getting old diseases like memory loss and all that kind of stuff. It'll make of your body.
Yeah. So I'm gonna read one last question and then we're gonna hop off this live. Do you agree with that, or do you want to go for more than one?
Get to one more.
One more? Okay. So I'm gonna go with this last question. What has surprised us the most about living this healthier lifestyle? Something we gotta think about. So I think I'll go first. To be honest, this is the reason why I chose this question because it's something that I have to think about. What surprised me the most? Um, to be honest, I have to say it is meeting my expectations because of the research that I've done for 4 years before I even went vegan. What I'm experiencing is all the things that I had already learned about. I'm more surprised about the accuracy than I am about what I'm actually going through, what I'm actually experiencing, because um what I learned about this diet, um which is all like really great things. I'm happy to find out that I'm not going deficient, that I'm not like it's not something that I'm failing at, that it's not um and I'm not surprised that I'm not failing. I'm more surprised that everything has been accurate from that. Everything that I learned is accurate, because we could learn certain things and it could be fake news. It could be completely, false teaching. So to learn the things that I've learned and it actually be true, that was actually kind of I would say the most surprising to me, the accuracy, because the fact that it exceeded my expectations. Yeah, it exceeded my expectations and all things that I learned. So yeah, I'm surprised. I just like, okay, well, I'm sitting here living proof that it's true, that all the things I learned about it, cleaning your body out, you feeling lighter, my skin clearing up, all that, it's true. I feel better. My brain is I can think more clearly. I have better energy. I'm regular. Like it's true. So yeah.
So what surprised me was that I've come this far. I've been doing this long, and just clean and clear without backtracking or stopping and falling back. Um, that's what surprised me, that I was able to really stay true to this. But I think I've just really realized, um, when you're really done with something, when you're really done with something,
Mm-hmm.
you're done.
Yeah.
When you backtrack and you can't keep up with things, you're not really done. You might feel like you've had enough, or you might, you're just on a pause. But I was done. I was officially done with meat, and I think that in itself was a surprise because I never saw myself. I started thinking maybe I might give it a try, but I tried a lot of things and fell back. I'm your typical. I am your typical um New Year's resolution failure person. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Like I can commit to certain things and just not be successful in them. And I really thought that at one point I thought, okay, maybe I'll give it a try, but I really knew that I wasn't going to be one of those ones that was going to be successful with it. So me actually being successful is a big surprise. A big surprise. The fact that I did not backtrack at all. I mean, just with that little piece of skin was enough to gag me half to death. I said, "Oh my God, never, never again. No way, no how." So yeah, that was a surprise.
So who
Guys
has
for
joined
joining
us,
us.
join us on this live questions, and I hope we answered your questions. You have a good understanding of what we're saying, where we're coming from, and you got to know a little bit about us, and it opened your mind to trying new things and doing your research so that you can have success and really committing, especially if you feel called. If you don't feel called to it, then there's a reason for that. Maybe it's not something that you should do, or maybe it's something that you I would say uh again, just answer the if you feel the calling, answer the calling. If you don't feel like something you should do, then don't do it. You know. At the same time, don't hassle anybody else for their lifestyle choices because you never know why they're doing it. Some people are sick; they might be chronically ill, and changing their diet might be the thing that saves their life. So I would say, let's encourage each other with wisdom and knowledge. Like, and
Be
maybe
respectful of other people's diet
yeah,
choices.
yeah, maybe help them along their journey by suggesting things that might help them in terms of what they will, the direction they want to go in. Like for me, sea moss, butter root. I did all this research on my own. I just followed my intuition and did the research because I wanted to be successful. So that's the key here. Just whatever you do, make sure you are educated enough to be successful in it. And it's okay to change. Like change is good. Change is a
Yeah,
good thing.
whether you do it slow or you jump into it or you
Yeah.
just stick your toe in and ease your way in, and watch our videos. Watch our videos, and I'm
Yes.
telling you, my sausage video is really that sausage is delicious. My goodness, but
It's the first video.
and
The very first video.
all the dishes are really good, but watch the videos and try them.
Yeah.
Try the different things that we make because we make them different. We don't have everybody else's recipes, and we make and for the most part, cooking, everybody makes things different, and we if, different people's foods meet different people's palates.
Yeah.
Right? And since we cook different, she cooks vegan, I cook plant-based and meatless, and then I also cook, with meat, and for carnivores, it gives you a good selection, it gives you a good variety of different weight lifestyles,
Yeah.
so you can give them a try, and then that may help you if you feel like you're, called in your calling.
Yeah, we even have things for like detoxes. So try it out.
Yeah.
We're gonna come up with different things as well
More
to show you
things.
that
Help
we
these
do.
things.
So stay tuned for everything we have coming, and we'll see you in the next
Wednesdays.
videos.
5:30 Wednesday. See you then.